Thank you, thank you. Thank you, good afternoon, and welcome. Today, it's my privilege to introduce two of a great person to me. One is my beloved actress friend, Michelle Yeoh. The other is a filmmaker I greatly admire, Luc Besson. About 13 years ago, I had this weird idea of creating this artistic, emotional martial art film where something like a physical interpretation of sensibility. And I didn't know if it makes sense or not, but I made some Western movie. I thought, when I come back to China, I want to show them, well, I was very ambitious and try to do something impossible. In the script, there are three major roles, but only one I know can carry the movie. She has to be the anchor that carries the whole movie, do the heavy lifting job. And I put that down on the character of Yu Lian, a repressed, emotional, and righteous woman warrior. She just did all the heavy job and underplayed and repressed, and you just loved her and feel bad for her, so to speak. You want to cry for her, and that's the tone I want to carry the whole movie. And then on top of that, people can fly. And as I was writing the script, I had one person and no other than Michelle in mind. I just had a feeling, ambition, that all her life, all the movie I've seen, all the disposition display that I know of is only preparation for this one role. She just lived to do this one role. I was like very ambitious about that. And I wrote the part, and I didn't know where the movie's gonna go, but I had Michelle. I was lucky. And when I pitched her, I said, you're like the Eleanor of sensibility, except you have to kick ass. She fell for it before even reading the script. And we work on it. I've never seen anybody work so hard. It just broke my heart. It's for the first time she has to act, sing sound in Mandarin, another language which she's gonna display in this movie. It's even a harder task. She speaks Mandarin, adapt the ancient Chinese mannerism, which I'm pretty a pain in the neck to, nobody in the martial art world care for that, I'm sure, but I do. And of course, of all thing, acting. She has to break your heart, not the person who fly or charm you, but break your heart. And it's a long process. She did that. Two things that strike me I don't forget for the rest of my life. One is the second week she broke her knee. Through the entire shooting, you see her being agile and great in the movie, but she was shooting the whole movie with a broken knee with a brace under the pants. We try to keep that a secret until the movie, long after the movie release. The other is one experience. It's like the highlight of my career is when she played the Limu Bai, her lover's death scene. She cries her heart out. She carried a person she loved, and never able to kiss or express, and he's dying and giving her his entire spirit and soul and heart, and she just broke down. Um, we had her sit on the apple box because she cannot fold her foot, so one foot is up here on the chair, and we're shooting a close up, and her foot was here, and Limu Bai's in her, Chorin Fa is not exactly like this guy. And on the third take, I was crying, and I only had a few times crying on the shoot. I thought I was pretty dutiful in my job, but I lost it. Not only the tears that break her heart, but what's in her eyes, the expression, the thought, everything that she carried. Not only I thought of the role I was dreaming about for so long that come to life, but the pressure she went through, a broken knee, ultimate challenge in her acting career, not as a martial artist, but an actress, all the mannerism, all the inconvenience of a second language, and most of all, she's been chased by this young actress named Zhang Ziyi, and all that pressure, I could see everything comes out at take three. I took another take, take four, but take three was what you see in the movie. And after that, I had to go away because I could not explain to anybody how I felt. And I had to cry for like 10 minutes to calm myself down. And that was kind of a shame. Um, but she did that to me. I thought this is it. She's not going to top this. You know, she lived all her life for this role. When I found out that she's going to play Song Sang Kyi, I thought, oh, you ain't going to see nothing yet. I'm so anticipate that she plays this role because I don't think there's many characters in the world now that I can inspire us so much. And she's a woman, and uncannily, uh, Michelle looks so much like her. I mean, the frame, even the same region, is like uncanny how she landed this part on her. I'm so looking forward to it, to look at the film today, and especially I'm happy for her that Luc Besson is gonna direct it. One moment I'm gonna bother you one more time. It's his movie Big Blue. Is one moment that haunted me as a filmmaker, as an artist, and as a person, like forever. It is the moment, you know, the movie is about deep diving and to see how much pressure you can take. The moment when they dig the actor, the character played by uh, Reno, Jean Reno, they took him out. He was bleeding. He was about to die, and he told his friend and competitor, he says, "Deep down there is beautiful." That was haunting. Each time when I'm deep down in making a movie, I thought I was gonna shoot myself. I thought of that moment. This genius filmmaker, I don't know how he did that movie. At that moment, it just drilled into you, and it's haunting. Uh, I think Song Sang-woo-ki, Michelle, Luke, they have something in common. They have faith. They sacrifice themselves for the bigger cause. They surrender themselves. They be in a vehicle of something that really inspire us. And I feel I'm so privileged to know these two persons, especially Michelle. She's a great friend of mine ever since we made the movie. And I want to thank Asian Society to hold this event. I think it's really meaningful. And it's my great pleasure to introduce my friend, Michelle, and a great filmmaker, Luc Besson. Come on up.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. At first, thank you. I said I wasn't going to say anything. I just want you to get on and see the lady. But after that introduction, how can I not? I feel like I am truly the luckiest girl in the world. When Ang Lee came to me and said, I want to make Sense and Sensibility with martial arts. And it was straight after I did Tomorrow Never Dies, and I have my producer, Barbara Broccoli, who tell you what a nightmare it was to work with me. And I waited 3 years. I didn't do anything. I waited 3 years to do Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And you know that it came from the heart. And it is quite surprising for you to say that you didn't think could top myself, but I'm glad that hopefully when you see the lady, you will think otherwise. Because I also now had an opportunity to work with another director who is just as brilliant as Aung, just as dedicated, devoted. Oh God, what we have to put up with, you see? Two incredible directors and poor me. I remember when I was doing Crouching Tiger, that scene with Li Mu Bai very, very clearly. And that was the first, and I understood what was loss when you lose someone that you love so much. But then in The Lady, I also began to understand it is not just loss, it is deep love that will always stay with you. Because unfortunately, in these both movies, my characters, the people that I play, lost the people that they truly, truly loved. But in the amazing hands of Ang Lee and Luc Besson, I managed to find a way, and I hope you will feel what I felt. Thank you. And this is the amazing Luc Besson.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow.
I take it. I take it like this. Prefer. Mr. Ang Lee, I'm so honored if one day you tell me that you will present the film. So first, when I did The Big Blue, if someone tell me that maybe one day Ang Lee will die because of me, I will. So please don't. All right. I can take the scene out of the film if you want. And thank you so much to be here, and I'm very, very thrilled. It was a pleasure to work with this lady, a real pleasure. And the meaning of why I make the film on the first place is because I read a line from Aung San Suu Kyi saying, "Use your freedom to promote ours," which remind us that they can't make films in Burma. So I just wish one day Burma's director will be able to make a film about Aung San Suu Kyi and his country, and I will be happy to be at the premiere of this film. But since they can't do it, we feel that we have to do it. So on the name of all the Burmese artists, we are very happy to show you the film today. Thank you so much.
To begin our conversation, can you two talk about the genesis of the film and how did this all begin?
It began with you first. In fact, I think she heard about the project and read a couple of lines on the newspaper and grabbed it, because there is not so many huge role for an Asian actress around, and she grabbed it, work on it with the producer, the English producer, and Rebecca, who wrote the script, and then finally give me a call and say, can you read the script? I need some advice as a producer. Of course, if you're free as a director, I would love you to direct, but I suppose you're very busy. And I say, yes, I'm very busy. I have a film to do, and I can't do it. So I take the script, I read the script, I cry for the entire script. And I call back and I say, I just find a whole of 18 months in my schedule, if you're interested. That's how he starts.
He's not lying. He never lies. That's the thing. No, I think for this movie, it's just so obvious. It can't be just a job. It really has to be a very powerful emotion, which is love. And I hope that you all can feel that this truly is a labor of love, where all of us, with our greatest respect for not just Daw Suu, but the people of Burma and the cause that they are fighting for.
Michelle, I was telling you earlier that I don't think I can ever think of Aung San Suu Kyi again without having the image of you in my head. But obviously, a physical resemblance is not enough to create such a powerful performance. Can you talk about how you prepared yourself for the role?
It's not just an impersonation of Daw Suu. That is never enough. And as an actor, that's the least thing you want to do. First of all, when I met with Kim, he said to me, Mei Mei is slimmer than you. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm not big, right? So I think at that point I went on to lose about 6-7 kilos to start off with. And then after the hunger strike scene, I was down like 8 kilos. I think that was but it's a commitment to do what you need to do. And then with the best hair and makeup people, because the way she looks is very recognizable. Everybody knows what she looks like. And there is enough footage out there where you understand the way she speaks, her deportment, her cadence, her nuances. So that's very important, so that when you see, you do believe that that is her. But afterwards, it's really what is going on behind her eyes. Because when we were preparing, we knew precisely at what time it was. And that was a real roller coaster ride, because it was 10 specific years of her life. And we lived it in 2.5 months. And I remember when I first went to see her, I almost want to run up to her and say, I'm so sorry for the loss that you had, But then I thought, oh shit, that happened about 12 years ago. But we were living it every day, so it was so powerful to us. So it's just understanding the arc, the person that is a big hero to me, and then seriously having a very good director, because he sees the big picture. I only see what I need to do. So I have to be prepared that any time zone he puts me in, and he will know how to nudge me in that direction.
I was shocked that on top of English, Malay, Cantonese, and Mandarin, you can actually speak Burmese.
Well, first of all, when I had to learn Mandarin, I had a very good coach over there. Every nuance had to be like, ding, exactly. And I thought Mandarin was probably going to be one of the most difficult languages until I encountered Burmese. Oh my. I think there were a couple of times where I went up to Luc and said, I don't know how I'm going to do this, I'm going to die. Because it was nothing similar to Mandarin, Cantonese, Malay, English, nothing at all. I'm sure I have a few Burmese friends here who will verify that it's truth, because it's like syllables put together. So in the end, with a very, very good teacher who was very patient, and I had perseverance, so the two of us just sat down there and blocked like sentences or things off. So the first line is, Yahan shi lupi duludu apaundo, agu ludu siya wepoeji, api duludu yesandago, and I'm thinking, is it gonna stop? So after that, when you're committed, and it is very important to get it right, because that was one of her big first speeches to her people, to convince them and to let them know that her heart is with them and she is there ready for them in the pursuit of democracy. So it was the right thing to do. So there was just no other way around it. So before I opened my eyes in the morning, I could hear myself reciting the lines. Actually, it wasn't so bad for me. It was worse for Jean Todt. He was like living with a schizophrenic.
It's the boyfriend, Jean Todt. No, for the one who doesn't know.
So Luc, this film deals with the story of a living public figure. How challenging was it to balance between telling her story as truthfully as possible and creating a dramatic story that's compelling on screen?
We follow the truth. You can't play around. We have too much respect for her. She's still fighting for democracy. So you can't play. You can't. It's not the right film to show how brilliant you can be as a director. You have to follow the story, be very humble, and to try not to betray her, which is difficult because we have so little information about the inside, like how she feel. So we try to know her as far as we can. For almost a year, we study everything we have. So in certain situation, we were working together saying, okay, we think she will react this way. Now that we know her enough, she will probably react this way or this way. So we were really trying to find the truth all the time. And that's the most difficult, because her family have not seen her since 15 years because she was under house arrest. All the friends she has was in jail. They were in jail. So you barely can find anyone who, have seen her like recently. All the people who have seen her, it was like 15 years ago. So that was the challenge, and we try always to be humble and respectful. What helps a lot is on the set we have 200 Burmese people who was with us all the time, and they are the one who can help on little details. Like for example when they say Bingalaba or they say hello like this. Depend of the age of the person, depend if it's a woman or a man, you don't do the same kind of gesture. So I didn't know all of this, so I'm glad they were here to help me. And by the way, none of the people we have seen on screen, talking about the Burmese, none of them are actors at all. There is no school, so there is no actors. So we went to a refugee camp on the north of Thailand. There are 30,000 people over there. We tell them that we're going to make the film about her. They were very happy. And we took 200 of them. And they're carpenters, lawyers, journalists. And the little captain, the one who say music? So he's a carpenter. And when I met him, he has a strong face, and I said, "You think you can act?" And he said, "I don't know, I never try." Said, "Do you know the military people? Do you know how they act?" And he said, "Yeah, they kill half of my family, so I know how they act." And you don't know what to say as a director when an actor say that to you. So I say, "All right, go to the costume and we will figure out how we're gonna do it." But the guy was so full inside that even if he has no technique at all, you just have to find the right button to push, you know, and everything goes out. So it was very pleasant to work with all these people. The funny thing is, don't try to put, you know, like sometimes we put some marks on the ground, you know, like you have to walk and stop here. Forget about that. Either it's like, you know, the mark is here, and the guy arrived and do like this. So that's one version. And so you say, you know, you have the mark, you have to stop, please. Okay. The second version is. So, so I have a Steadicam guy, and he was like compensating all the time, because the guy never stopped. So and don't try to say do what you want, just be natural. And so on one hand you have these people who doesn't speak a word of English, not even Thai, and on the other side you have Michelle and David who are very professional, and the mixing all together was so cool. It was so great as a director.
You shot most of the Burma scenes in Thailand, but it's a very sensitive subject, and you managed to keep it a secret when you were shooting there, even though hundreds of people participated in the making of the film. How did that work?
I think there is an Asian thing.
What's the Asian
about
thing?
no about
Very respectful.
about respect. And so we were in this the scene where you have 1 million people, you know, the big thing. I don't have 1 million of extras. My producer is there, but she gave me 6,000, which is pretty good. And before to start the scene, we take the megaphone and talk to these people and say, "Listen, it's a subject very sensitive. It's about Aung San Suu Kyi. So can you please not taking picture with your phone and not go on the internet, because we want to finish the film in peace and we are fighting for a good cause." And you have 6,000 people who say, "Okay." And actually, none of them put anything on the internet. None of them did one picture or anything. You do that in Europe, my brother will put it right away, my cousin. So I love that from Asia. You know, when they...
You did shoot a little bit in Burma. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, before they knew about the film, we went 3 different crew coming from different part of the world with a HD camera, and we shoot undercover, pretending to be tourist. So I have a nice shirt with flower and a hat. And I was like overact totally. "Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Oh, great. Oh, wonderful. Oh my God." So most of the time I was putting the camera on the wall, shooting, and pretending, you know, like I arranged myself, but I was shooting, in fact. So we came back with 17 hours of dailies. The military guy who was next to me was at 3 feet the entire time, and he have not seen anything. So, and lots of shots are in the film when you see Shwedagon and when you see all the countryside, and so that was fun.
During the shooting in Thailand, suddenly Aung San Suu Kyi was released from house arrest. We're talking about November 2010. How did you feel when that happened?
So the first moment is on the morning of her freedom. On the morning, I was shooting the scene at the end with the monk. So she's at the gate, waving the people, and we finish the scene. We go back to the hotel together, and we watch CNN, and I see the same scene and and my first reflex was, somebody shot the scene this morning. Somebody steal the delis. Because the camera was from far and moving like this, so it was not even, the light was not good, and I was like, what's going on? I don't understand. And then you realize that it's the real one. And we are together, and Virginie, the producer, is here, and then Kim, the real son of Aung San Suu Kyi, is with us. The fake Kim, who plays him in the film, then the real Aung San Suu Kyi on screen, and you're lost. You're like, you lost. You don't understand. You think it's an hiding camera somewhere, and someone tried to trick you. And then to go even farther, Kim has his phone and he say, "Oh, Michelle, my mom wants to talk to you."
Oh, wow.
So now Michelle is on the phone with the real one, watching her on TV, and we're lost.
So what did she say to you?
No, it's like, it's when Kim said to her, yes, I'm here with, Luc, and yeah, the actress who's playing with you in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Michelle. And I'm like, oh my God. And she goes, here, talk to my mom. And you're like, what do I call her? Shall I say, Sue? And you're like, hello, hi, I'm Michelle. And I'm like, yes, it's that. She sounds exactly the way I've been hearing her voice, the same steady, warm, welcoming. And she's very thankful because, her son's with us, and, she feels that we've been looking after him. So you sound like you're talking to someone who's known you for a long time. And I felt like I've known forever, except this is the first time I'm actually, hearing her voice, and she's answering my questions. So it was really bizarre.
And both of you actually met her in person, right? And how was it like?
We live in like 3 months in a house, which is the replica of the real house, the exact replica. So every morning you go in this house, and then one day you go in the real one, and it looks older because it's 20 years later. And Aung San Suu Kyi was at the same place, in the same position that I filmed Michelle in the house. So, which I guess that maybe she will put herself there when she welcome people, but in reality, that's what she do, and I didn't know. And so I was very confused also, and the house is the same, and I'm looking everywhere, and from far, she looks like Michelle, the same dress, the same flower, and then the funny thing is, after like 20 seconds, you forgot the entire film. You forgot the 2 years that you spent working on the film, because she's the real thing. So you forgot. I forgot the film. I was just meeting one of the most wonderful women I ever met. She's so curious. She talks about everything. She's so peaceful. She has so much peace on her, and she won't say one single bad word about the people who are abusing her since 20 years. It's a lesson just to be next to her. So I was amazed.
Well, so much has changed in Burma recently. Hillary Clinton just went on a historic state visit, and Aung San Suu Kyi's party is going to participate in the next election. Yes. How do you feel about all these changes, and what are your hopes for this film? It's both of you.
I'm not a specialist of Asia, but I think we have to be careful, because they have done that before. They show good signs, which is good, but we really must be very careful. Today there is a lots of minority around, at the frontier of Burma, who are fighting, who are dying, and Amnesty International or Human Rights Watch are not allowed to go there to verify exactly what's going on. So as long as they don't have the authorization to go there, it's not a democracy. So let's hope they're serious about it, and they're gonna open more. It looks like they're doing the right things, but I'm skeptical because I study a little the history of Burma, and they have done that every 10 years. So, but we have to encourage. We have to encourage them.
Yeah. That's what Dosu always wanted, dialogue. Because without dialogue, you can't move ahead. So it is very important that the international eyes are on them to encourage them, to push them in the right direction. And I think for us, the most important thing for this film is really to create an awareness, because I think most people have forgotten, where did Dosu come from? Who is Michael Aris? This family that has sacrificed a lot for their people. And I think if you know where it started from, now you can make a choice what you want to do with it. So, and I hope that this will just inspire you to support the cause, because if we can achieve democracy in a non-violent way, it will be a great step for humanity, for all of us.
Well, at this point, I'd like to open up this discussion to all of you. And I also want to acknowledge that in this audience, we have a lot of Burma policy and human rights experts. And I encourage you to speak. And if you're willing, you can identify yourself as well. We have 2 mics that can be passed down from the aisles. Anyone? Yes. Please, the front. The front
Hi.
first, please.
Me first? Hi.
Oh.
My
give
name
me a
is Li
second,
Jing.
sorry.
I'm Chinese, and I'm very touched by your film. And actually, I learned a lot from this film. I feel it's more like a documentary to me. My question to both of you is that, Michelle, you played Bond girl, you played Kung Fu lady, and this one is a lot of internal, like feelings, emotions. And what's your biggest learning after this filming? And same thing for Luc. Thank you.
Actually, it's very interesting. I have my director from Tomorrow Never Dies, Roger Spottiswoode, sitting at the back there. And also Ang Lee, who is in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Both very physical, active. But I remember Roger telling me one time, you're not here because of your physical abilities. You're here because you're an actress. And I remember also Ang always being very, what do you mean she's not an actress? She's an actress, that's why she's here. But for me, Dosu, this character, this person, she is a very strong, willful, articulate woman. She's fighting, but in a non-violent way. So in the opposite sense, it is very challenging. And I suppose as an actress, you want to be challenged in all different ways. If not, what's the point of using those years of your life on something that's not going to be meaningful to you? I think for me to have, I won't, how sometimes you do a character and you think, okay, thank you, I've learned something, I'm going to put it back in the cupboard. But with her, she's always going to be with me, because it's a philosophy. It's a way of life, learning to be selfless, to be compassionate, to be a good Buddhist. So it will be a lesson that I will take with me until, I don't know, I hope this is not my last movie, but for a long time.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Minky Worden from Human Rights Watch, and I want to thank you all for doing what I think of as a beautiful poem about the struggle of the people in Burma. And the conditions that you depicted in the movie for political prisoners are very close to the conditions, the dog cages, the conditions inside insane prison. I've interviewed artists, writers, activists, students who have been in those prisons. Tell me, how did you do the research for that, and how did you work with political prisoners who told you about the conditions?
I work with you, in fact. Because Human Rights Watch was very, very nice and sent me like thousands of all these reports that you're talking about. That's how I learned about it. So I'm glad that it's close to the truth. But there's almost, in some of the reports that you send me, there is also drawings. So for example, they attach, the prisoners, how they attach to here and the legs and everything. We picked up from the drawings you sent us. So that was very, very helpful. And that was also a way to stay as close as we can from the truth. To be honest, the example that we give of the violence of the power, we didn't take the worst example because it won't be believable. I've read a couple of things that are not believable, honestly. So I take the couple of examples that who are acceptable, let's say. But for example, when they give their hands and they go in the field to find the mines, that's a true story. I've read it a few times. That's how they do it. That's how they take the mines out of field, by using, prisoners who sometimes have done nothing. The real question is who fabric the mines? Because it's not the Burmese who fabrics and sell it. But that's another film.
Yes.
I'm curious about your use of the English language and the Burmese language, because at certain points you're speaking to your mother in English. Why do you use English when you've learned Burmese at that point?
That was a tough decision. We don't know sometimes how to deal with it. So what I decide is, when there is English people in a room, for politeness, they speak English. With the mother, in fact, her mother was an ambassador for Burma for many, many years, and she was working outside of Burma also. So she was fluent also in English. I couldn't find a Burmese actress of 60 years old who can play like this actress that we see in the film. So, and the actress that I find was speaking Thai or English, but she couldn't learn the Burmese. And so that's why they speak English together. And the generals, when they come to see her, they speak English on purpose, because they were doing that. It was a way to show her that she's not Burmese, but she's a spy from England. And she was complaining when every time they come to her house, she was saying, "You can speak Burmese," and they were saying, "Yes, sure," and they were continuing English, just to make her, one more pressure on her.
Someone in the back, all the way.
Hello. My name is Kaylin, and I work for Voice of America, and I'm also Burmese. And I thought that, Michelle, you did such a great portrayal. And Luc, the preciseness, the precision, and to every detail about 54 University Avenue and to the flowers in her hair was just so great. And I wanted to know more about Michael Ayres, because he's somebody that we don't hear of so often. Why did you choose to convey his side of the story? And why did you choose to do a love story when there's just so much catastrophe in the country?
I think the political angle, if you want to know about it, then go on the internet. There is nothing I can teach you or learn. I mean, I can't teach you about the politics in Burma, because I will just say what I read. I think it was very interesting to understand how 50 kilos women can fight against 300,000 Burma's military people for 25 years. How she can do that. And the only way to understand is to go deep inside her and try to understand what's her weapon. And her weapon is basically love, because she loves her country, loves her husband, loves her child, and that's the only weapon of mass construction that she have. And I was very interested by that. I mean, when you see that she lose her dad at 3 years old, and when you see how the dad was important in Burma, it's sure it's going to play in her life for sure. And I want to talk about that. I want to see that one of her motivation is to finish the job that her dad have done. and to show also that without Michael, she will probably never succeed. You know, the quality of the love that this man have for her is an essential key on her success. I wish for all the ladies to have such a husband.
Maybe one last one? Yes?
Hello, my name is Yoshita. I was wondering, you said that Madam Sue said that to use your liberty to show theirs and to talk about them. So are you planning to take this movie to Burma? Have people in Burma seen this? Has Madam Dosu seen this? I mean, is there...
Those who have not seen the film is not authorized in Burma. So I think today you can go in jail if you have a copy of it. But you know what? I hope that they will pirate the film a lot. and I think the funny thing with piracy is in all these countries, Burma, North Korea, and a couple of others where they don't have the freedom, at least it's a good way of having the stuff. So be my guest and you can do it. So thank you so much to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Just one last thing. I do want to let you know that this film is going to be released here in February. And you are seeing this far in advance than anyone else. You can brag about it and take advantage of that. And we have a reception upstairs. You're all invited. Please join me and thank Michelle Yeoh and Luc Besson.